With households still taking on more debt, the South Korean government's introduced measures to try to limit the rise in borrowing next year to between 4% and 5%. Seo Eunkyung has this report.
South Korea is introducing stricter measures to address runaway household debt.
The potential risk of household debt is deepening during the COVID-19 period. It is time for us to take strong preemptive measures to tame household debt.
Household debt has been on the increase. In 2009, it grew by 4.2% on year. But the growth rate rose to 8% last year and was higher than 10% in the second quarter of this year, indicating the seriousness of the situation. The chairman of the Financial Services Commission said on Tuesday that the government would focus on toughening regulations on mortgage loans through the debt service ratio as it tries to get household debt under control. The debt service ratio limits the amount people can borrow based on their income. Since July, the FSC has applied a 40% debt service ratio on borrowers who buy a home worth more than 600 million won, or some $515,000 in speculation areas, or on people who take up credit loans worth more than $85,000. However, starting in January next year, the lending rules will be applied to loans of more than 200,000 won or $170,000. The change was originally meant to take place in July, but the schedule has been brought forward to January. The rules will be tightened further in July next year, when they will be applied to loans more than around $85,000. This change has been planned for 2023, but was brought forward a year. Experts say that the debt service ratio is probably the best way to control household debt, but the government and the central bank also has other measures to use.
DSR is probably the best way to control household debt, but does Korean government and Bank of Korea have other cards? Well, they can increase the requirement for the banks to look at the credit ratings of the borrowers. They can also limit the total amount of loans that the banks can make.
However, loans for renting a home using a large deposit, known as jeonse, will not be subject to the government-tightened lending rules. The FSC chairman said last Friday the government is not considering it as it could harm those who actually need such loans. Seo Eunkyung, Arirang News.